I've been wanting to do this unboxing for a bit. I've been trying to get my hands on a pair of these Russell Moccasins for a while, trying to get them to sponsor a cut in half video because they've got a really old pair from the historic days of Russell Moccasins, and I believe they've got a pair of boots from one of the first treks across that big trail on the east that I can't remember what it's called. I don't think it's the Appalachian Trail. But there's some big trail that like runs up the Mississippi or something, and they got a pair of those, and I'm trying to get them to sponsor video, but you know, not every brand is ready for a bigger viewed video to pop off, because sometimes that can cause an influx of orders. Even if it's an increase of 20%, sometimes not every brand is ready to take on additional orders. But I've been dying to cut them in half and see more of how they're built. But this is a close second place because I was able to procure a couple pairs for myself and a couple different sizes, so I can figure out a little bit of the sizing information, at least show you guys the boots, some of the details. Because if you don't know, Russell Moccasin is an old brand. I believe it's been around for 124 years. Their history says, crafted by hand for over 124 years. Russell's storied and far-reaching history has always been written from the banks of the Fox River in Berlin, Wisconsin. William Russell, from whom the business is named, was the second-generation leather craftsman alongside his brother Frank and father Charles. When the opportunity arose for his own venture, Will purchased the Wright Shoe Company from Stillman Wright and used his equipment to start W.C. Russell Moccasin Company in 1898. So pretty long tenured history. And I think in 2022, they sold the company to a couple dudes who are pretty young dudes, honestly. Like a lot of times you see these old companies be sold to these giant conglomerates or these older companies with very mature like finance people behind it. And I'm not saying the guys that bought it are anything less than that, but they're a younger group of guys, I believe. And I like that as what I consider myself a younger dude. Just having more people who are the next generation running these leatherworking businesses and these boot companies and really reinvigorating some life and some longevity into these brands. So that's why I've really been interested in Russell Moccasins and seeing like what they've been doing and how they've been changing things. So they have changed a few things. Like I was just reading through their frequently asked questions, and they said they've stopped doing custom orders and they've cut down on the amount of models that they even produce, because it's such an old school way of doing things where everyone was just needing so many orders. They were willing to take whatever they can get, and people were willing to pay a little bit higher prices for custom stuff back in the day. And then as the internet's really pushed business and industry more towards specialization, it's almost like the internet has caused businesses to need to sell more at a more affordable price to compete because there's so much more competition. And so because of that, I think it's a really smart move on the new Russell Moccasin owners to cut down on those orders and really be able to fulfill the orders that they have and try to keep up on orders instead of these like 2-year lead times that every boot company in the US seems to be struggling with. So everything that I've seen so far from Russell Moccasins and the couple chats I've had with the new owners have been really good, really positive, and I see a lot of hope in that brand. I think they're gonna do some really cool stuff, and so I begged them to send me a couple pairs because I just think they look so cool. I think they're like a very traditional, almost like American-only way of making boots, you know, because I believe it was inspired by the Native Americans' moccasins and that construction going back 124 years. And the boot that I wanted to get, because they offer quite a few different boots, they offered to send me some more of the luggy hiking style boots, which I would usually lean towards because I love hiking boots. I love more rugged style boots, but I really like some of these almost like hybrid boots where you have the moccasin upper, but you have a more casual and lighter duty outsole. Because for me, I almost want these boots to be a little bit of a camp boot almost, you know, where you just throw it on and you know it's gonna be comfortable. You know you can hike in it. You know you can pretty much go wherever you want, but you're gonna be ultra comfortable. It's not gonna be the most supportive, but it's almost like a mountain slipper, I guess is what I'm getting at. Just something super comfortable, super easy to put on, and not ridiculously heavy. Like a travel boot, but for not traveling on planes, you know, like just a general travel boot. That's kind of what I wanted for, because I don't think you could probably even use it as like a travel boot, because I don't think there's a lot of steel or metal in the construction. So long way of saying, I went with the safari boot because I liked the canvas and leather upper. I like how it's still a traditional moccasin, but I really am interested in trying this Lactae Havea outsole on a boot, because we've seen those outsoles on some of the, especially the British made high quality dressier sneakers where they use a lactate have sole on those, and they're so freaking squishy and they're comfortable, and like they balance that low density with the high durability that's really hard to get in a lot of outsoles. And I want to try it on a boot. So that's the gist of how we got here and why I wanted to do this. So let's unbox this thing and see what we got, because I'm a little under the weather today, to be honest. I'm a little sick. I've been sick over the weekend and I've got to record like 4 videos. So, leather working knife, because I wore gym shorts. I didn't pack my little Gerber knife with me. You can see how sharp this thing is. Usually these things are razor sharp and will wreck you if you're not careful. This one's more just for show. Make it seem like I'm a professional leather worker. Like putting fancy tools on my desks. Because really, in all honesty, I use box cutting knives, like razor knives, for 99% of the leather working I do, just because I don't like sharpening stuff. It's a waste of time. And just throw a new blade in, it's so much easier. So, big box first. Okay, so we got Safaris in a 9E and a 9.5D. I was curious how these would fit. I wanted to try like a wider width and have it be like a shorter boot and a regular width in the regular length to kind of see what's what. Forgot to set up my second camera. Now we got the second camera set up. Let's unbox these. Very simple box. Not a whole lot of branding or anything on it. You know, like I said, new owners, changing some stuff up. Very simple boxes. So let's see. Inside box number 1. I don't even know which one this is. Wow, such an unboxing experience. I need to get better at these unboxing. Ooh, these feel good. I wonder what leather they're using. This is a really, really soft and supple leather. Oh, I honestly think I made the right choice, because this outsole is so stinking soft, and this leather is really, really, like it's almost sticky to the touch. It's so oiled up and greased up. Ooh, they smell good too. Smells like IFA, you know, like the leather sections in like Western stores. Woo. So yeah, I think I made the right choice. These are gonna be awesome little, like, just throw around, super comfortable. Throw them on. They're gonna be, you know, they're gonna be comfortable. They're gonna be reliable. They're fairly lightweight for a pair of boots. Yes, these are so cool. The only thing that honestly I might have customized was putting speed hooks on, because these are pretty spaced out, so you're probably just fine. But what I'm gonna have to do for me is lace these up and then tie knots in the end as they come through this top eyelet, so I can really quickly loosen them up and throw them on and off. I might even just have Taylor replace the eyelets with speed hooks in the back of the shop for a little Rose Anvil 2 video. Maybe we'll do it on a few different boots just to show you. But I'm gonna do something like that so that I can hurry and loosen the boots up and then take them off really quick and easy. Speed hooks are pretty nice though. Maybe these don't need speed hooks. Maybe they're just easier to get on and off, and maybe they're made to fit like that, but I enjoy a little speed hook. Nice thick canvas on the side. That hand sewn Moc Toe stitch. What's crazy about these boots, a lot of people don't understand, and we'll cover this a lot more when we actually do the cut in half video, hopefully in the future, is how labor intensive these are to make. Like, these aren't done by a machine. These are all very similar to how like the Pacific Northwest boots do them. It's kind of confusing because this is like a traditional moccasin boot. So this vamp piece you see, the sidewall, a lot of people look at this and just assume that it's just a sidewall piece, but it actually wraps all the way under and it comes up to the other side. So this is literally a cup of leather that's going around the bottom of your foot. So you don't have to deal with any of those issues with cavities underneath of it, with Goodyear welted, or so many different layers. With the stitch down construction, this is about as simple of a construction as you can get, and it's fairly durable because you don't have all those different layers and they need to be glued together and have these really ornate and complex ways of constructing a boot. It's literally like a cup of leather with a top piece sewn on top and the outsole sewn through that cup of leather. It's really, really cool. And I don't even feel the inside stitching in there. I'm curious how these are actually built all the way through, because now I can feel them. So that you can feel there's like a Blake stitch that sews that upper to this midsole that seems to be rubber, and the outsole is glued on, making these really, really easy to rebuild and put a new outsole on. And you can put on a wedge sole, you can put on a hiking outsole, you can do whatever you want. And all those important stitches are hidden on the inside. It's gonna be pretty durable. And I like these boots. So let's open up another box and see if anything's different with those. Box number 2. I love these boots. I think they're so good looking. I think they're such a unique little boot. Everyone talks about how unique, including myself, how unique some of these U.S. brands are. They're the last bastions of American footwear manufacturing. They're the ones that have been doing it for so long. Russell Moccasin has been doing it more traditionally for probably longer than the vast majority of the brands out there, and they're making a very specific type of boot that nobody else makes. So these guys really are the last of a dying breed, and it's really, really cool that the new owners have done their best to revive this brand and really seemingly bringing it into the 21st century. I don't even know what century it is. I just like that, you know, because this brand could have easily died off, and I'm not saying the old ownership was bad or, you know, all these caveats, but it's just, I just love the fact that a younger dude appreciates the value of this brand, went in and bought it with somebody else, I think there's two owners in it, and are reviving this great American brand. But I just think it's a really cool story, and we'll tell a lot more of the story and how this is all unfolding and what they've done and their involvement and what they've changed, what they've done the same since buying since buying Russell Moccasins when we actually do the cut in half video. So thank you guys for all your support. Now let's see if these actually fit. And once again, I did not think about my attire for this unboxing video because I always just am wearing like gym shorts and not cool boot clothes, but whatever. So let's try the D first. 9.5 D. So I'm 10 on the Brannock, and you know, I'm a little bit narrow of width. I think I'm technically like a C width, but I'm close enough to a D, and I don't like having my toes squished, so I just say I'm a D width. So this would be technically half a size down from my Brannock, and the same width as my Brannock for the most part. Ooh, I think the 9's gonna be the fit. I'm like the worst person to be doing boot reviews when it comes to sizing and telling people how they fit, because I have such abnormal feet. So I think I would even skip this top eyelet to make these really easy to take on and off. Oh, yeah, just barely fitting into that upper. If you got skinny ankles, like me, might be a little bit big in the upper, especially once they stretch out. Yeah, those feel long. I think the right bet's gonna be the 9. Okay, let's try one of these on then. Now for the 9. So, with this boot, if this fit me exactly right, I'm a 10D on the Brannock, and this would be going down 1 full size and up 1 width. I think that's gonna be the one for me. I feel like that's about right. It's impossible to say though, because every time I think I've got it dialed in, I wear them for like 3 days. I'm like, well, those are too small. I think honestly, this is like a shameless plug of our own products, but I'm gonna throw a kiltie in these just to take up some of that space. And that is one benefit of the Rose Anvil kilties. It fills up your dainty little ankles with more leather, so you look less like a little dainty ankle 14-year-old boy. Yeah, those fit better. Golly, the toe is so much longer than I expected them to look. I like the look of them though. And they feel kind of like sneakers. You can see how much that canvas on the side makes these easier to break into that really supple leather. So my big toe ends about, so I've got about a thumb width there, and then I've got about a 1.5 thumb width on the 9.5. So I think I did right by doing the 9E, because they fit my ankle better. They seem like they fit the length better, but I'm not having my toes squished on the side. I think that's about perfect. I'm like, my natural instinct to say they're a little bit too long. Every time I think that, the boot breaks in, my heel settles into the boot a little bit more, the toe curls up, and they fit perfect. So I think, far from my recommendation for sizing guide, it's more of just like a way to show you my rough sizing so that you can base your sizing off of it. I would still defer to whatever Russell says and wants you to do. But that's my personal sizing, and I think that's pretty good. I think you could be happy either way, with either going a half size down or a full size down, but defer to Russell. I don't want them to be mad at me because I was like, do this sizing. Then everyone's returned their boots or thinks they got sized wrong. So what about a shank? Is there a shank in this thing? No shank. See, that's kind of what I like about these though. They're just like just like a camp boot. Like you just throw these on, you're protected from the environment, but you're not like, lugging these 2-pound boots around. You're clomping around. Like these aren't gonna hold on to mud like crazy. They're not gonna be really hard on your feet. They'll be a nice like recovery boot, traveling boot, camping boot, where you want some of the benefits of the boot, but you want the comfort of a sneaker. That's kind of what my vision is for these, for me personally. So cool. I'm excited to wear these. I'm gonna go, actually I shouldn't go for a hike tonight because I'm sick, but when I'm not as sick, I'm gonna go for a hike in these and see how they perform. A light hike, because I'm excited to wear these. You're probably going to see me wearing these a lot this winter just because they seem like they're going to be really comfortable. And if you want a pair of these, I'll put links in the description of each of the different models that we talked about and to Russell Moccasins' social media and the general sizing guide, whatever information you guys, whatever else you wanted to know and see. I'll put some kilties in the description too, because if you got little lady ankles like me, you might want a kiltie to fill up some of that room. So let me know what you guys think and what other boots you want me to unbox, what other information you want to know. I love doing these unboxes. It's so fun, just like from a perspective of getting new boots and being able to like geek out over them for like 20 minutes is really fun. It's fun to be able to show you some of these brands that we haven't covered on the channel quite yet. And it's just fun to do. So thank you guys so much for all your support and then supporting Rose Anvil 2, Rose Anvil, the main channel, and Rose Anvil Builds. We just posted the Red Wing 877 resole. Those things turn out so nice, and I'm gonna do an unboxing of them on this channel as well, so you guys can see more of like the thought behind it, why we chose certain stuff. So be on the lookout for that video, and thanks again for everything you guys do. See ya.